So just I'm going to start with a bit of a background of the Glenorchy Community Composting. So the idea was initially proposed by Paul Brainard. Paul Brainard, or the Brainard family, they own the Headwaters, which is a business here that's really focused on sustainability. They have a campground, a luxury accommodation. It's called the Headwaters Eco Lodge, and the Mrs. Wooley's general store, which is like a classic small town general store with cafe, yummy food, pies, and a bit of gifts. The Headwaters was the project. Paul Brainard is a philanthropist, so they originally from the States. They dedicated their lives to sustainability projects. So you guys can check out the Brainard Foundation. So this is for Paul Brainard's and a bunch of projects that they supported towards their life, throughout their life. So here in Glenorchy, the Headwaters was all built, following sustainable guidelines, and so they always aimed to have everything very sustainable. So Paul Brainard, on his travels, he saw smaller, similar communities in other parts of the globe that had a community composting system, and that's one of the things that he realized Glenorchy didn't have one. So in 2017, it was proposed by then that the Headwaters could implement a community composting, and that could be open for the whole community. It was very well accepted at the time, and the need for a community compost was then identified as, as much as there are some other things here happening so it's not like all the compostables from Glenorchy goes to landfill. There was a significant amount of compostables going to landfill. So that whole background of the story started in 2017. It went to a long process to get some funding from Minister for Environment. Eventually, they got that funding. They chose which option it would be implemented here, and that's where I'm going to get into here. So the option chose for Glenorchy. Can you guys all see my screen? Yes.
Yep.
Cool. So the option chose here is the Green Mountain Technology Earthflow, which is a shipping container recycled and adapted to be an enclosed system. The reason for that, it's obviously because it's pretty cold here. So in winter months, most home composting or even larger scale, if you're open to the environment, the composting would just not work as it should. So on his travels, he saw this facility work in places like Canada, Alaska, Norway. So that's why this option was the chosen one. The owner of the company, Michael, he's actually a Kiwi. He lives in the States, and he founded this company that manufactures this type of machines from different sizes. So the machine was shipped from the States here. It was actually, so the whole process happened when COVID happened. So huge delays with shipping. It took quite a bit longer than originally planned for the machine to arrive here, but eventually it got commissioned. So yeah, basically it's a shipping container. It's got an auger inside, which I'll show you guys how it operates. Here it's got an electric system. These are all the electric functions and the aeration system here. It's still being installed. It looks much better now. It's all green and looking good, but this was how it was when we first arrived. Let's see if I can move to the slide. So at the front here, this is the front load. That's where we load the composting. And this is the back. That's where we unload. This is a biofilter. So it's got an aeration system inside. This is a fan that pulls the air out from the shipping container, goes to the biofilter, and that's to prevent any smells. So that's how we don't have basically no smell at all. That was one of the issues that we had to make sure it was solved, because we are in the middle of the community, in middle of the center of the town. So those are the bays. So after the composting stays inside the shipping container, it goes out and stays in one of these bays between well, it depends on the season, obviously, but between 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how warm or how cold it is outside. It stays inside the machine between 2 to 4 weeks as well, depending on the volume and conditions. So it can compost as fast as 2 weeks inside, 4 weeks outside, and that's like optimal conditions. So this is opening day. This is Paul Brainard cutting the ribbon here. Now the composting is painted. We've got stickers, we've got labels, we've got bins. There's a bin lifter here, which we use. So I'm gonna run through the process that we do a little bit, so you guys understand. So again, this is the bin lifter. So all the composting, all the organic waste that we have, both from the business and locals, gets put into these bins. They are just, your standard rubbish recycling bin that we've got repurposed to be organic bins. So you can see on the corners here, they were blue. So we got a bunch of bins that were not fit for purpose anymore, and we reuse them now. The bin lifter does the heavier load, so it does the job for us. I'll see if I can show the video now. Let me know if it's gonna show there for you guys. That was when we did. Is it showing? Is it running? Cool. So we've got a bin lifter. So obviously the shipping container here, the height, it's adequate for this type of bin lifter. So it's all planned well in advance, so we know that they're gonna work. Oops, that was that was meant to be the first one, so that's why everyone's clapping. I just want to show what happens after now. So Steve, he's going to come here on the corner. He's going to press start, which is going to make the machine start. That's the aeration. And then the machine is going to start operating now. And then you guys are going to have a close look on how it works. There we go. So that's the magic there. Obviously, at this stage, we were just starting. Oh, I didn't want to stop here. Hold on. At this stage, we're just starting. So here we have a bunch of browns, so brown paper bags that we use as a carbon source. We also have sawdust and some mulch from trees, from willow trees, and obviously all the food waste as well. So at this point, we are just starting. We had a low volume. The machine can operate as high as this last line that we can see here. We haven't had it at full capacity yet, but at this stage, we're probably half capacity or maybe a little bit less than half. Yeah, so the auger goes back and forth, sideways. It's got 3 different modes that it can compost, that it can operate. So one mode is load, which is when we're loading things. So it only mix the load side of the composter. It's got a mix side, which means it mix the whole thing. And then it's got a dump side, which means it only mix the back there. So we use that mode when we are about to take some compost out of the machine. Yeah, any questions so far about the machine? we can do question and answers in the end as well. These are the bins that we repurposed. There's a few more that haven't been painted yet. Here I'm just showing you guys how we currently operate. So the whole project, to give you a better idea of the logistics and the I guess the operation part of things. So the project is being funded as a pilot project by the Queenstown District Council. So Queenstown Lakes is funding the operations of it, which is, the weekly operations of the machine, collecting. So as a first part of that project, we only operate as a drop-off point. So we don't collect from, we are not doing collections yet. So both business and locals and residents, they bring the compost to us. So that drop-off point is like an unofficial drop-off that I have for one of the business here, because they use those big 20 liters buckets from my 310, and that works fine. So they bring that to me and I put it on the big bins, and then some other business they bring in different ways. So we kind of, because we're quite small, we can do some sort of like individual arrangements with each of those business. And then that's the public drop-off bin. So that's in front of Mrs. Woolley. So that's open to the public. They can just bring their own little buckets and drop the compost for us here. So as a second stage, which is going to start at the end of October now, we're going to start doing organic collections from the locals, from the residents. So we've got a little e-bike. I just want to show you this guy later, but here's the e-bike that we have. We have a trailer that's get attached to this e-bike, and we're going to start doing the collections now. So those are the basic things. From residents and business, we only collect organic waste. We don't do green waste yet, just because the facility is not commissioned for that. It does have some more health and safety issues with people bringing trucks and trailers, and the car park that the machine currently belongs. It's actually a dock area that's being used as a public car park. So those are the things, I think, the basics. I just want to show you guys the temperature here. So we've got a thermometer. It gets pretty hot in there, probably hotter than it should sometimes. So we try to keep it between 55, 65 degrees. But sometimes it does get pretty hot. So we use, it's been a huge learning curve for me as an operator of the machine, knowing what makes it too hot, what makes on a good temperature, how can we cool down and make it on the optimal temperature, so we don't kill all the good bacteria and good fungi. So just one, that's an interesting one there as a fun thing. That's almost 80 degrees, definitely way above what we wanted. So we use water, a hydration system to cool it down. But those two pictures were taken on the same day. We had -7 degrees outside, cold, damp, fog, mist weather in middle of winter, and inside was almost 80 degrees. So it just goes to show how the machine can operate in any weather conditions, which is a big thing for us down here. A couple of other learnings that the situations that we have to overcome here in Glenorchy. I don't know if all of you know, but it's a small community, about 300 to 400 people. Mainly, we have, from one side, we have farming, so a lot of sheep farming here, and also tourism. Right, so those are the basics of the base economic of the community. Glenorchy does have a very sustainability mindset. So most residents here, they do their own compost, and if not, they will either provide a compost to like a pig farm or to animal farming. So we don't expect a huge volume, especially from residents, because a lot of people, they do have their own compost and they're quite proud of that. But On the other hand, a lot of the local business, especially the food operators, so cafes, hotels, they don't have a composting system. They don't want to deal with that. So that's when we come